I got errands for him. It's real life. Sitting here being an entrepreneur. But, I am, but
Well, let's talk about that, Miss Alonya. How you doing today?
I'm fine. And yourself, Danielle?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I know you closed today, so
I am.
Thank you for coming on your day off.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And that's very important that you have days off as an entrepreneur, because people be thinking you gotta work 24/7, 7 days a week, and all that.
Right.
So it sounds like you have a work-life balance.
Absolutely. Although as an entrepreneur, you're never really off.
This is true.
But I do have I think a good work-life balance, because when I'm off, I'm off. But of course, there are things as entrepreneurs that you may have to do on your day off in order to sustain your business. So that's just the reality of it.
Okay, like what types of things, like if we were talking to somebody who was thinking about, contemplating becoming an entrepreneur, starting a business, like what are the things you feel like they would have to do on those days off that's not really like days off?
Okay, first of all, be off.
That part.
That's the part. Take time for yourself. For me, it's something. Everybody has that thing that they do that relaxes them. Even if it's as simple as sitting in 7-Eleven parking lot, for example, just having a cup of tea. Maybe you're listening to a podcast, music, a lecture, whatever it is. Just taking a moment of quiet for yourself. And some people require 10 minutes, some people require an entire day. It just depends, but you do need to take that time to kind of self-contain and just really be with yourself. We need to be comfortable being with ourselves, even in the midst of having a business, perhaps a family, a husband or a spouse or whatever it is. We have to, take time for ourselves.
That's right. So what I'm hearing you say is that, it's about the business, about, making your bottom line and above, but it's also about taking care of you, because you are the business.
Hello.
You are Black luxury.
Right. I am Black luxury. This is true. And that's a big thing too about a lot of entrepreneurs. We are the business. Whether you call it a small business, a micro business, whatever you want to call it, we are the business. And a lot of us are self-employed, meaning that we actually work in our businesses.
That's right.
Okay, we may not have employees. We are the employees. So if you burn out, then unfortunately your business is not running.
That's right.
The majority of small businesses are self-employed or ran by that person that actually is the proprietor of that business. So it's extremely important, because if you shut down, that's it. That's it. So that's the reality of that.
Wow.
You got to take care of yourself.
Okay, all right. So that sounds like step one: take care of yourself.
Right.
Have that business plan.
Right.
But take care of yourself.
Well,
too.
you know what? I'm gonna say not even have a business plan, because you know what? I didn't have one. I have like notes and doodles and things like that I had over the years. I'm not under the guise that you have to have a business plan, because the reality is a lot of people did it. A lot of people did it, and they're successful. And successful meaning successful, what's successful to you, because that's, we go, very deep into those type of things. That's a matter of opinion what success is. Some people feel successful making $10,000. Some people don't feel successful until they make $1 billion. So success is what you believe it to be, not what society tells you it is. No, it's the truth.
No, I'm with you. You starting out the gate getting deep with it. I'm just gonna answer these questions. No, you're not. You're dropping jewels for the door on your day off.
Right. Well, this is my true train of thought. This is really my true train of thought, because we can't chase success of others, because what's for you, for me, is for me. So I can't literally, in my opinion, because I'm speaking, from my opinion. I cannot chase the success of Danielle, because I am not Danielle. I'm Alonya. I cannot chase the success of another consignment store. I'm not that consignment store. My success and my path is for me. Because if I busy myself trying to chase your path, then how would I develop my own? How could I follow my own if I'm watching yours all the time? And not watching yours, it's okay to watch it as an admirer, inspiration, but not as to follow. No.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you say, what I'm hearing you describe is living adult life. So my definition of dope is defining our personal experience.
Okay. Yeah.
So I hear you saying like you got to be authentic to you.
Absolutely.
Like you can be inspired.
Yes.
But what you say is be inspired, but
don't
bite.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Be inspired, but don't bite. You know, that's one of my my actual slogans or logos from the hoodie that I have. But absolutely, you know, you need to make it your own. You know, inspiration is inspired. We're all inspired. You know, nothing is new. Honestly, nothing on this earth is new. It came from somewhere. I mean, you may have changed it. You may have enhanced it. You may have made it worse, you know, to be honest with you. But, you know, you have to be inspired by people. Obviously, I'm inspired by people. I'm inspired by you. You know, I'm inspired by a lot of people. And everybody is not, I'm not inspired by people that just own clothing stores or consignment stores. I'm inspired by a lot of people. But what I do is admire it. You know, it motivates me. But it doesn't mean I want to copy it. Yeah, I'm not, yeah.
You are creating your lane. Like,
absolutely.
You
it's
know.
already created. It's already written.
you
know, I mean, this is it's already been created for me. Honestly, you know, my lane has already been created. You know, obviously I have free will. You know, I can destroy it or whatever. But yeah, it's already been created for me.
Wow. So tell me how you got on this lane, because you know we all got our origin stories of our business, right? What's your origin story? How did you get here?
Here, as in Saving Rave? My grandmother, honestly, you know, the seed was planted there, you know. Fashion was her thing. And she's my, now if you ask me if I have a muse, that's it. That's it. You know, she's the one. She's the blueprint. She's the blueprint. Her name is Joan, affectionately known as Sweetie. That's where I get it from, you know. She was with me a short time of my life. She's been deceased for a very long time now, but in that time that we had, it was very effective as far as teaching me how to shop, high, low, you know, open shop in markets, flea markets, you know, how to put things together, core pieces, styling, you know, things like that. And not necessarily spending a lot of money, because she did both. You know, it wasn't about buying labels, it was just about core fashion. And that's where I got it from. That's it. Simple as that. Right there in North New Jersey, right in the bricks. That's it. Right in the bricks. That's it. Yeah.
So Miss Sweetie, she had style.
Definitely. Absolutely.
She had style. Whatever she wore, sound like she
Everything.
brought the energy to the outfit.
She brought the energy. When she walked in a space, you knew she was there. She commanded respect, and she gave that energy out. You know, not in a, you know, arrogant way. It's just who she was. Yeah.
Wow. And you know, when I see you on social media, when I see you in person, I always get that from you.
Oh, okay.
I always get that from you. Like, you always, first of all, you always look dope.
Oh, thank you. I try.
You always look dope. You don't be trying. You be doing it as your real life you live it. You just like, this is how I am, the end.
That's it. Yeah.
And you know, you embody that, and you know, you are definitely radiating and exuding your grandmother's energy.
Oh, thank you. I try. I try my best to honor her in that way. You know, I honor her in my lifestyle. You know, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So tell us about Save a Rave. Like, I know you didn't start off on Bloomfield. You used to be in North, right?
Right. Actually, I started selling on Instagram first.
Oh, wow.
All right. So then there was an opportunity. I saw a flyer, honestly, on Instagram, and it was about going in and try to cultivate your entrepreneurial skills. I'm just kind of making a bridge version of it. And it was with the city of Newark. And the project was called Newark Community Storefronts. So honestly, I was on Instagram. It was just no rhyme or reason. Somebody I know posted a flyer. I said, okay, I'm gonna go check it out. So the premise was, when you got there, you know, you get into this program, you go through this micro business course, and the end result was that for you to go into a storefront with some other entrepreneurs to see if you want to hone your skills there, to see if this is what you really want to do. So that's where it came from. It was just on a fly. That's what I'm saying. I don't have a business plan. I just want to make that clear in this you know, interview. I do not have a business plan. All this stuff has happened to me because it was written for me, number one, and then secondly, it was just happening. You know, that's it. You know, I'll be lying if I'll sit up here and say, oh yeah, that's not what happened. So anyway, we went to this through the course. I can't remember. Maybe the course was like 12 weeks, 16 weeks, or whatever it was. And then we went into the storefront. And we went into the storefront. At the time, I believe it was about 14 to 12 people. We ended up with 2 people in 4 years at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not for everybody, and it's not a bad thing. You have to make decisions, you know, but you have to be willing, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, to risk your time, your money, and your emotions.
That part.
You have to.
That part.
You know, because if you're not willing to do any of those things, there's no way you can be an entrepreneur. Because all of those things that I just mentioned are going to be tested.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be tested. It's going to be a challenge for you.
Right.
And you're going to have to learn how to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's nothing wrong for entrepreneurs to say, hey, this is not for me. You know, I don't want to be in a brick and mortar. I don't want to run an online shop. You know, I don't want to do it anymore. You know, that's part of being an entrepreneur as well. At some point, either you pivot or you may walk away from it. It doesn't mean that you weren't successful. It just meant that it was your time. Every business has its time. Every business has its cycle, including saving rate. This is not a forever thing. It's not. And I have to be comfortable with that. You know, because it can change in the next year where it may not be for me. And I have to be comfortable with walking away from it and saying, okay, I was able to do it this long. That was a successful run of that. And I'm not talking about money, okay?
Right.
I'm not talking about money. I want to be that clear, because it even to stay open is a success. Even to get a key, at least, to get in the door. You know, that's a success.
That's right.
The start is the success. A lot of people don't even start. You know how much it is to just start, like just to open the door. That's a lot. You know, so to me, when you even get that far, you're successful. So you have to be comfortable that this may not be forever, and I'm comfortable with that, because at some point there will not be a saving rate. Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you are, you know, you're living in the moment, and you also are giving yourself space, it sounds like, to evolve
Absolutely.
into something else, and not feel like I gotta be bound to this because this is my business and I gotta stick with this forever.
Right.
Wow.
But how's that reality? That's not a reality. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a big store, a big box store, a small store. They have their runs, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, this economy is very challenging for any business, any type of business. You know that. It doesn't matter. I'm sure we know all type of entrepreneurs, all different walks of life, all different type of industries. They are all challenged in some manner financially, you know, in this present time.
That's true.
It's hard.
That's true.
So if we're seeing stores 30, 40, 50, 80, 90, 100 years, stores folding or fluttering or closing, it's the same. So when people ask me, you know, how's business, my normal answer is like everybody else. It's good, it's bad, it's up, it's down.
That's
but I'm
right.
here.
But you're here.
Yeah, I just keep going until I can't do it no more.
There you go.
Until I can't do it no more. That's it. You know.
Don't go nowhere. No time soon. No time soon.
I'm trying.
I'm gonna pause right here to make sure that we good.
Okay.
So far, 'cause
Okay.
I had a whole debacle on last night.
Oh. They be like, I gotta do this first. I gotta do this. I read this thing. Honey, you gonna keep reading and you ain't doing
I'm
nothing.
trying to tell you, and first of all, who's writing this stuff, first
Right.
of all, and like you said, to just be watching people and think you have to do what somebody else is doing. We all have our own story.
Right.
So one person, you could just go out and just start selling. One person might feel more comfortable, you know, writing a business plan, but like you said, you just have to start. If it's in you, like, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about how, you know, that work-life balance. Right now, you know, it's Black History Month. For me personally, I'm kind of over like just the Black history, like, because I feel like it's been the same thing forever. I remember being in elementary school, they had the banner around the top of the, you know, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. It's the same thing regurgitated, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, let's talk about Black future.
Right.
Let's talk about what Black people are doing now to move forward and how we are evolving.
Okay.
Where would you say, like, that you see, like, Black people going as far as, well, what, like, maybe business, right? Where do you see us going? I know I ain't had it on
No.
But you know, you have so much knowledge. I'm like, let me tap into you.
Right.
Where do you see, like, this going, like, with, you know, Black people tapping into business and finance and things like that?
Well, obviously it's a beautiful thing. You know, I think we were always educated as a people. You know, I do think that Black people have always been educated. I just feel like the information is easier to get now. You know, I just think it's easier to get now, of course, with the internet and things like that. So our future has always been bright. I never thought that it wasn't. You know, I don't want to say that it wasn't before. It's always been bright, because if you seek, you will find. If you want the knowledge, you're gonna go and get it. You know, nobody can stop you from getting knowledge. So those who were people that seek knowledge, they were all already doing this.
Right.
You know, this just didn't just happen. It's beautiful to see so many Black entrepreneurs. You know, women led a lot, even children. You know, a lot of children and things like that. That's a beautiful thing, because we see it more. So now it's always been there, because we've always had mom and pop stores in our neighborhoods that were owned by a Black family at some point. You know, but now we see it in the forefront, so it's a lot easier for us to click on a button and say, you know, it's 20 you know, Black owned businesses in this area, that area. So that's a beautiful part of it. But I think we've already been there. You know, and I like what you said. I don't subscribe necessarily to, you know, Black History Month. That's, you know, it is what it is, and I understand why they did it, and, you know, the reasoning behind it and how it came about. But we're always going to be history. We're always going to be Black history. We're always going to create history. We're still creating. You know, we are the culture. We really are. We are the backbone. A lot of things that we do in our everyday lives, dressing, cooking, you know, walking, you know, whatever, has always been copied. Always, and will forever be. So, you know, for me, I always knew who I am. I don't need to have a month to tell me who I am. I really don't. I know who I am.
All day.
Yeah, every day, all day. You know, Black history is everyday history, forever history. You know, because history doesn't stop. You know what I mean? It's always created. It's always created. It's always created. It's somebody making Black history. We're making Black history right now, because 10 years ago, me and you may have not been sitting here.
That's right.
In order to record this, to upload it, or whatever it is that we upload. So this is an active Black history going on.
That's right.
So that's how I feel about that. I don't really, you know, we respect it. We always should respect where we came from and acknowledge the sacrifices that certain people have made in order to advance some of the things that we've done. But we also need to keep it moving along.
I love that. Keep it moving along. Keep it moving, evolving.
Right.
Acknowledge what has happened.
Right.
Keep it moving
Keep
from
it moving.
there.
Right, because we can't rest, you know. I mean, that's even with us. You know, you receive an accolade, you know, in your form of business. I may receive an accolade. It might be a physical award or interview or whatever it is. How long can we sit in that moment? And I have a bad habit of that. You know, this is, we're having, you know, a very people say to me, like, you don't revel in stuff. Like, what am I going to how long can you talk about something? Like, how long can you be in a space of, I won this award? You know how many people are broke and been on this award? I mean, this is just a reality, you know what I mean? So you have to acknowledge it, right, and celebrate it. Of course I'm gonna celebrate it, but now I gotta move on, because I keep you know, regurgitating what I did 10 years ago.
Right.
Because honestly, you know, it really doesn't have much relevance. I mean, to be honest with you, it does. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Wow. You know, when you said that, like, you get these accolades and you're kind of stuck. This is gonna sound silly. I thought of what is that? Married with Children. Al Bundy. He would always talk about, I was the quarterback at Polk High. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, dude, you how old? Like, and you talking about something you did when you were 15. Like,
right.
It is a lot of us that
we
get
like
stuck, like,
yeah.
and we are not looking forward to, like, okay, like, now what's next? How am I going to build on this accolade that
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
You know, because even if you look at the, you know, just the regular world, you know, especially it's, you know, award season now.
Oh my God,
you know,
Grammys was the other night.
You have Grammys and, you know, EGOTs and whatever, you know, all these awards. You know how many of those people are still regular working people at this point? They have Oscars. You know, there are a lot of people that have Oscars and Emmys and, you know, Tonys or whatever you want to call them, and they're actively just working in the regular force now, because that was then, this is now. Okay, so that's not going to pay your bill when you have to eat now, so you have to move along from it.
Right. Wow. So definitely evolve.
Yeah.
And leave yourself room to grow and not just be stuck in one space.
You have to. You have to.
Wow.
I mean, what can you do? I mean, and to be honest with you, damn sure, okay, how many times you gonna tell me that? Really? Seriously? I mean, that's just the reality. Why you gonna keep talking about the same thing?
Right,
We gotta move on.
right.
You know what I mean? You gotta move on.
See, you that friend people be needing, but sometimes they probably be mad because they like, dang, like she done, woo, she done got me together. But they need to hear it because, like you said, okay, we here, good, bravo, all right.
Yeah.
What's up tomorrow?
Right.
What's going on next week? Like,
yeah. I mean, and it's hard. I mean, it can be hard for all of us, you know, especially in our personal lives. That it's harder to do it there.
Yeah.
Because there's more emotions attached, especially when you start talking about relationships and children and blah blah blah. You know, that kind of stuff. That's where that concept gets harder, even for myself, because now you invested some different type of emotions there.
That's right.
You know, different type of emotions, business emotions and personal relationship emotions are not really the same. You know,
that's true. That is a good
that's
point.
Not the same. Yeah.
That's a good
so I can acknowledge that it's harder when it's in your personal life.
Okay. And you know, as a business owner that has been through it, you know, what would you say, you know, to somebody that is they still in the thinking, you know, we say like the pre-contemplation like stage of like, should I sell this? Should I put myself out there? Like, what, you know, what advice would you give them as far as either getting started or maybe somebody has started to maintain like what they have or be able to evolve from that? Like, what advice would you give?
That's a hard one. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you just have to do it and you have to see it within yourself.
Right.
There is no right or wrong way
Yeah.
for business. I mean, there are certain pitfalls, obviously, you know, that can make you, you know, fail and succeed maybe, you know, faster, quicker. But there's no get rich quick scheme out here for business.
Right.
I mean, there's a very rare percentage of businesses that take off like that. And even though they take off, it doesn't mean they sustain themselves.
That part.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, so we have to watch that. You know, the thing is, like I was saying earlier, is just to start. Just put yourself out there. I mean, my thing, I always say, what is the worst thing somebody can tell me is no. That's one of my favorite things to say.
That's
what
right.
can you tell me is no.
That's right.
I didn't have it anyway.
Mm.
You know, so if you tell me no, it doesn't
Listen,
really
yeah.
matter. You know, it doesn't matter. So I put myself out there, and yes, it might hurt your feelings. I've got told no before too, and I'm going to continue. As long as you're walking this earth, somebody's going to tell you no.
That's right.
Everything is not going to be a yes. Okay, so you know, you just have to get used to that. That goes back to saying, be comfortable with getting your emotions together with business, because you're not going to always win. You know, and unfortunately, Instagram, you know, and social media, not Instagram, but just social media in general, makes people think that you're always going to be winning.
That's right. That's right.
You know, winning.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah, and somebody got to lose sometime. I mean, this is a world we live in. You know,
That's
everybody's not a winner all the time. You know, we're not children, we're adults. You know what I mean? You move on past that. You know, Pop Warner, you know, oh, you know, no. But no, we have to move on from that. You know, you're going to lose something at some point.
That's right.
You know, and you know, in your business world, and you have to be comfortable with that.
That's right.
You have to.
That's right. Oh my God, you just out here just dropping like gems and you know, very reality based. Like, this is real life. Like, it's cute on Instagram or whatever, but behind this, it's like this is everyday life. You still have to be able to manage the ups and the downs.
Right.
You know, even look, when I reached out to you, I don't know if you remember, years ago.
Right.
We met on Instagram, and
Absolutely.
I was like, thinking that, what's the worst that she's going to say? She's going to say no, or she's just not going to respond.
Exactly. That's
what
it.
you do.
Right, but how we
Move on.
wouldn't even got this far if you would have never started. That's what I'm saying. You just have to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just have to do it.
Right. Put yourself out there.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I do. In this whole journey, I just put myself out there. I didn't, you know, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a plan. I just put myself out there and just, you know, whatever.
And I would think that you must have a really dope circle as well, because I know you said like with the personal and the business, but doing this, you know, you need people that's really like, you know, in your corner. Like, how, you know, what is your circle like? Like, are they also business owners?
Yeah, a lot of them are actually. A lot of them are, and family as well. You know, a lot of them are business owners in different type of industries, not necessarily the same industry that I'm in. And you know, you do need support. You know, because we all get discouraged. You know, motivation is hard. To say motivation is hard. Consistent is easier. I try my best to stay consistent because I'm not gonna always be motivated. We're human beings. You're not gonna always be motivated. Sometimes I don't feel like being bothered. This is just reality. But I know that I need to do something, so I'll just do consistent. So if that's, posting consistently, talking, recording, whatever it is that you need to be consistent for your business, that is an easier plight for me than to necessarily be motivated all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, so, my family and friends, they keep me motivated sometimes, they give me a little push when I need it. But to be honest with you, you can't lean on it. Okay? I don't lean on them like that. Because you have to be able to do that for yourself. Because they have their own lives and their own businesses and whatever it is.
That's right.
You have to be able to do this for yourself. Because if I have to rely on them to always push me, I'm not going to get anywhere. So it's all about self-reliance at some point. It really is. It is.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit up here and say that you're like, oh, my spouse or my friend, my sister, my BFF, my crew, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, but you still need you.
That part.
Yeah, because anybody could push you. If you don't want to do it, it's not going to happen.
And I know, I will say this for me, when I first started my business, not more so like the therapy part, because that's just a different thing, but like having my little events and stuff, I would be like, oh, why nobody, coming, or they not posting it? And I'm like, I seen something, I think it was the young lady Milano, she has Milano English, and she posted something and said, your family, they are not your customers, they are not your clients, like, get it together. And I was like, oh, let me get myself together.
Your feelings would be hurt.
It be hurt, and then you pick them back up.
Yep.
And you, like you said, you keep it moving.
That's the self-reliance.
There you go.
Because your family is not your client. And outside of your family, everybody else is not your client, too.
Right.
That's something that you have to, everybody's not your client. People come in here all the time, and they may or may not find anything. And just based on their interaction, I can tell if they're my client or not. And I don't take it offensively. It is what it is, because everybody's not my client. Everybody's not going to like Alonya. Everybody doesn't like Alonya's vibe. Everybody's not going to like Alonya's store. That's fine, and you have to be fine with that, because you have to look at yourself. Do you like everybody? Do you like everybody's store? Do you like everybody's product? It's okay. That's the reason why we have different industries. I mean, same industries owned by different people that we prefer.
But you got a customer. I know that's right. See, as we talk about who the customer is, that customer coming up, I know that's right.
Yeah, but you have to be comfortable with that. Your family's not your business. Now, that's a big pitfall for entrepreneurs. Now, if you want to ask me one of the biggest pitfalls, that is one of them. Oh, my friends, just because you're my sister doesn't like you like what I sell. I mean, that's the reality. And I'm not in the business of pandering to my family. I don't pander to them. I really don't. If you find something here you like, fine. If you don't, fine. They might say, oh, I like this kind of, and I'll be like, oh, this came in. That's it. But that's as far as it's going to go with me. And I'm not going to get upset about it. Because I've run into family members and friends, oh, Lonnie, you're still here, I'm going to come by. Okay. But it's been years. And I just like, okay, because honestly, you do what you want to do. And if you wanted to come, you would come. But if you don't, you don't. And I always tell them, don't worry about it. It's okay. Because I'm not, I honestly,
not even impressed.
I'm not even thinking about it, to be honest. I'm really not thinking about it. If you come and you're like, oh, then it was your time to come. If you never come, then it means it was never meant for you to come.
That's right.
That's right. That's it. That's something I don't really get myself. I try not to get myself caught up in that, because I can't do it.
But you are talking about, I'm about to coin a phrase, y'all, so I'm saying it here. You are talking about entrepreneurial maturity.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Like, you have to evolve and know, like, hone in on what is it that I'm doing, what is it that I'm providing, and who am I speaking to? Who is my client, who is my customer? Like you said, it might not be your friends, might not be your family, it might not be the person that walked by. Like, but you being clear on that, it sounds like that's a way to kind of like keep you motivated, protect you. You know?
It is a form of protection too, because you get caught up, you'll be sad. you'll be sad. You'll be sitting there like, my cousins didn't do this, and my sister didn't. Like, I mean, what do you want the people to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a business. Everybody doesn't, like these type of items in my store. I mean, this is just what it is.
Girl.
You know, this is why they have multiple stores. It's okay.
Tell me about Lord, being a therapist. Lord, I know the few people they like. I don't live your life, boo.
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like you just, and what can you do?
Nothing.
Now, if you sat there and pondered on that, how could you focus?
That's right.
Because you over here.
That's right.
And the people that need you don't have access to you because your emotions are caught up with the people that don't want to come.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I'm here for those who want to be serviced by me.
Wow. When you ever decide to have your business course?
Oh no. You know what? I have a love-hate relationship with those type of things. I'll just be honest with you. Because you know why? Like I said, everybody's path is different.
Mm-hmm.
I can't package it up and sell it to you at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not right or wrong. There's no right or wrong.
Right.
There's no right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It really isn't. Your way is your way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you might get there faster than if you brought my course. Doing it your way. Because I might not understand completely what your vision is. Nobody understands 100% of someone's vision. You might get 80, maybe 90 if you get a good person. But really, your vision is your vision.
Right.
So, you know, it needs you to execute it. So, yeah, I can tell you semantics, little things, but I can't really say, I can't go on somebody, especially if it's outside of this type of business. I can't say, well, you know what? You should sell this meal like this, this. I've never owned a restaurant. So that's, speaking of that, this is the problem I have with those type of business courses and maybe networking type of events. Know your industry.
Yep.
Know your industry.
Yep.
Because, we go to all these different type of events and, they're selling you whatever it is that they're selling. But does it apply to your industry?
That's true.
Because they're speaking, honestly, in generalities, things that you can kind of, get online. They're not really giving you the meat of anything, to be honest with you. And then secondly, is it even in your industry? So I'm going to this huge networking event, and like I'll just go back to, and it's a person that's a restaurateur, very successful. I'm sure I can get some gems from them, but they don't sell clothes.
Right.
That's a different type of business. Okay, different type of risk. It's a whole different things. Like general business, there are general business things, LLCs, bank accounts, all those general, basic knowledge. But the crust of the business, if you're going to do that, I think you should try to look to people in your industry, right? That it'll be a lot better for you.
That makes sense. I mean, because there's a lot of nuances outside of, like you said, just doing the structural things, setting up your business and getting accounts and things like that. There are nuances and just day-to-day things that make more sense in one industry and make no sense in another. So,
right. So what I look like charging you, this is just my personal opinion, folks, and it is what it is. I'm saying what I can, but it is what it is, and I'm here for my opinion, and this is what we're gonna get. But I'm not gonna charge you $5.99.99 to tell you all about how I ran Save and Rave, because you're not trying to open a Save and Rave. So then you leave there, and what did you really get from it? Maybe you bump, shoulders and elbows with some people that are influencers in the world, as we call them today. Perhaps you met somebody that may have been deemed a celebrity. You may have gotten some good food, some content for your phone. Maybe, some libations or two. Then after then what? Where's the support afterwards? Where's the support afterwards? That's the thing. Where's the support? Because you sold it to me. This is your dream. You sold me your dream. And now I'm sitting here trying to apply your dream to my dream. And I don't have any support to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I really am not a fan of that, to be honest with you. I'm not.
So what I'm thinking I'm hearing you say is like, do your research.
Yeah.
Look into, focus on your industry. You could go to SBA and get all of the generalities, but those specific things like you got to do your research. There's no fast way to get it. And
Right.
being an entrepreneur,
Right.
you got to take your time. Like, that's
Right.
it. Like,
That's it.
so, wow. Okay, all right. Your course gonna come. It's gonna come from this video. This
No, it's not. I'm not. I mean, I don't have a problem. I have conversations with people here all the time, and you know that. You know, if they ask me something, you know, I don't mind sharing that information. But I mean, can I tell you every single thing? Am I going to sit here and lead the horse to water, to drink? No, because you do need to do your research. You shouldn't be at the point where you're asking me to do every single thing and every facet of your business to spell it out to you, because then that means you shouldn't be in business because you're not doing anything. You know, now that's different. That's different. You know, but you asked me, General, what does it cost me to tell you to go to SBA.gov or whatever it is? Like, I mean, why am I charging you for that? Like, what am I charging you for?
People be paying.
People be paying, but why am I charging you for that? You know, you want to be specific and you really want to get to the meat and crust of something with somebody, then maybe you can consult it. And then if you want me as a consultant, then there's a consultant fee.
Yep.
You know, because I've had that happen to me. You know, I do have an event planning business as well. You know, where somebody tried to get me to tell them how to do my event step by step. And I was on the phone. I'm like, sis, I said, you know, so you want, first of all, you want a consultant fee, because you're not going to pick my brain.
There you go.
Like that, I'm not into that. You're not going to pick my brain. Now you know, pick my brain could go a lot of ways, and you know that. It can go from a simple question to me giving you the blueprint.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
The blueprint is now a consultant fee.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Pick my brain is general questions.
There you go.
Learn the difference, folks. Entrepreneurs, learn the difference between picking the brain and when you need to start writing an invoice.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
No, that is a gem right there, because we, you know, and I know I'm guilty of this sometimes. Like, we're so excited to see like another person, especially a person of color, like you're like, oh my God, I want to just help them, and then we get caught up. And we're like, I'm doing the darn work for them, right? But like you said earlier, you gotta have that consistency and that internal like drive and motivation. And if you out here just trying to get all the answers from somebody else, do you really want to do this? Do you really have the motivation? Like, and you could pick me, you could pick my brain, but afterwards, are you going to be able to maintain and follow through on your business?
Right. Absolutely, because they're gonna have to come back to you.
That part.
You know.
That part.
Because there is a saying, and I have it on one of my pages. You can mark the end result, but you can never get my creativity. We can mock end results all the time. I mean, there is somebody that can aesthetically come in here and copy this store from top to bottom, aesthetic wise, and it could look exactly like this, because we see this in movie sets, right? So obviously we know it can be done. Somebody can go make a save and rave on a lot and it'll look just like this store, right? But are they me?
Absolutely.
You know. So what happens when I change my vision? What are you gonna do?
Wow.
No, seriously, that goes back to be inspired, don't bite. What happens when I change my vision and I start doing something else? So now you already are in the end phase of mock copying it.
That's right.
So now what you gonna do?
That's right.
You gonna do it again?
That's right.
You gonna do it again? Then if I stop doing anything, how you survive? Because you need me. You feeding off of me. That's craziness. That's craziness. But it happens all the time.
All the time. And like you said, with the social media age, it's so easy for somebody, like you said, aesthetically to say, oh, I'm going to do this and do that. It's one thing to be inspired, but it's another thing but you cannot maintain that.
You can't. Because it's not you.
It's not you. It's not your
energy.
Know,
right. It's not your energy. I mean, you know, you're stealing ideas, quotes, you know, phrases, slogans, looks, whatever from people. How can you sustain that? You can't. Because it belongs to someone else.
That's right.
You know, so once you made your money from it, whatever it is that you made, then what? You know that song, and then what?
Going back to the
and then
the next thing, like I don't know. I'm waiting to see what she want to post.
Right, like that's insanity.
That is.
That's insanity when you think about that. Even as a therapist, you know that's a form of insanity, because you who are you?
You got to tap into you and be okay, you know, with who you are.
Right.
You know, and you figure out how to, you know, monetize that. And that might look different from everybody. Like, you may not have seen what you're thinking about,
Right.
you know, and that's okay. And that's what makes us all like wonderful, is that we all come with our own energy. Like, you know, I love ALONYA because you ALONYA.
Right, that's it.
That's it.
That's my whole point. you know, and it just, it's like anybody, everybody is who they are, and you can't duplicate that person.
Wow.
You can't.
Now, speaking of that, so that sounds kind of like self-love. Sounds
Right.
exactly like self-love.
Yeah, well,
So we talk about self-love, self-care. How would you say that your, you know, mission of your business like embodies that?
self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, firstly, you know, shopping can be therapeutic or dangerous depending on the person, because it could be a habit, a bad habit, but it could be therapeutic as well. I think, you know, this particular business, because it is a consignment shop, and typically things here are secondhand, gently loved, used, hand-me-down, whatever you want to call them. I love all those words anyway. But, you know, when you come here, it may be therapeutic to think that you can still be fashionable and find some good items and maybe not break the bank, spend as much money as you may spend in, you know, a store that doesn't sell this type of goods, but still also being aware that this type of business, although it may be secondhand, so to speak, it doesn't mean that it's free. You know, because that's something, you know, that can be a misconception as well. And also, some people, when they come in here, they take time. My store's small, but mighty. You know, it's small, so they usually may come here by themselves, and so they could just kind of spend time in here, because this is the type of store that you have to spend time in, because you have to go through the things to find the diamond, to find the score. You know, that's what I love about consignment shopping, thrift shopping. You know, I love that, because it's always about the score, and what the score is what you think the score is. You know, so whether it be a vintage piece, you know, just a modern piece, or whatever, an independent designer piece, these are things that we have here at Save and Rave. It's always about the score. So you come here and you take your time. So I have clients that come in here that are literally in this small store for an hour and a half, 2 hours, because they get quiet in the back, and I know, I can tell those type of shoppers when they come, because they get quiet in the back. The next thing I know, they come up here, they got 20 pieces in there in the fitting room. You know, so this environment allows it to do that. And also here, it's more of a relaxed environment. I interact a lot with my clients. You know, we have a lot of different conversations. You know, there's a lot of recording. You know, if they want to record, make a video, because I want you to be the SART crew, Save and Rave crew. I want you to feel comfortable. You know, when you come in here, I want you to feel like a little release for the day. Because to be honest with you, sometimes I feel like a therapist, because people come in here and they're saying a lot of different things, they're talking about a lot of different things, and we build a rapport. You know, and I want to know your name. I want you to come here. I want you to be my neighbor and say, you know what, I need a black sweater. I'm not going to run up to, you know, the mall. I'm going to go and see if ALONYA has a black sweater. That's what I want. You know, that's why I don't have certain type of furniture here, because I wanted a, you know, an open environment. I want it to be welcoming when you come here. When you come in the door, I'm always speaking to you, you know, welcome to Save and Rave. Even if I'm on the phone, I try to acknowledge you, because number one, that's a pet peeve of mine as well. My store is small. There's no reason for you to walk in my store and me not speak to you. There is no reason.
Here go another lesson, another business lesson.
Yeah, this is no reason for me. For me, there is no reason. You know, now it's one thing if I'm on the phone, I may not verbalize it, because that can get confusing with the conversation. I'll try to put my hand up, or even I'll say, hold on, to try to acknowledge you, because how? This is not a huge department store. Now, where they have, you know, maybe one person on the floor and then they got to run from register to register, you know, to service you. This is not that. So, you know, you're not going to come in this small store and I'm not going to speak to you. That is a pet peeve of mine. And it's so crazy. It startles people sometimes. Because they're not used to it.
Oh my God.
They be like, what you say? They be like, huh? I be like, welcome to Save and Rave. They're like, oh, thank you. How are you? You know, and I allow you time to shop, and then I'll introduce myself. Most of the time I introduce myself, probably about at least 85% of the time, depending on, you know, I see how the client is vibing. You know, I'll introduce myself. I'll ask them, you know, are you local? Because I want to know where my clients are coming from, just in general, not your address. But they'll be like, oh, I'm from this county or that county or that, because I want to know. And you know, and if they're shopping longer and they're trying, I'll be like, oh, what's your name? They tell me their name. And then they may share a story with me, and I try to remember something about it. You know, I try my best. So a lot of times the client will come back. I'll be like, girl, how was dinner when you came here the last time? I'm like, you remember that? I'm like, yeah, because I want you to know that I'm paying attention to some extent.
That's right.
Not perfection. I'm not going to remember everything. I'm a human being. But I try to remember something that you told me. I try my best. So when I see you again, even walking around the center here in Bloomfield Center, you know, hey, you know, I'm driving, because obviously I'm out and about. So I do bump into my clients in the street too. So, you know, that's another thing. You know, it's not like I'm not local. I live close to the area in which I service. So it is a benefit to me to be kind to people, because why would I be mean? You see me walking down the street. You know, this is ridiculous. You know, I live here. You know what I mean? You know, so you have to have rapport, you know, with your clients. That's the thing. You need a rapport.
Wow. That is awesome, because, you know, speaking to somebody when they come in, like, you never know, you might be the first person that spoke to them today.
Right.
Or they might be going through something. So just you acknowledging them, their presence, like, that goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
And I think just common courtesy sometimes is forgotten, because we so, you know, into the digital world and everybody is so fast paced. So that's like really refreshing to hear, like, that you are really, you know, you're paying attention to people, not just customers, but people.
Yeah.
People. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, you got me. So, okay. She got the lemongrass going on. Okay.
Yes, I love lemongrass. I love lemon scent. That's my favorite scent.
Really?
Yeah, lemon. Yeah. Because I have allergies. So anything floral, anything like that. But I love lemon. Lemon is my thing. Yeah. Lemon, citrus, you know, anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Vibrant too. Vibrant.
Yes, definitely. So, you know, they walk in, they like the lemongrass or whatever. Oh, what's that? You know, that's lemongrass. Okay, cool.
You setting the tone and the vibe up in here.
Yeah, I try.
You do.
I try.
Well, I know you got to go. Again, it's your day off, so I ain't gonna hold you.
It's okay.
Thank you, first of all, for, you know, again, giving your time, sharing your energy, because you, I don't know if you know that, you are a conduit of energy.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
Yeah, you are.
Tell this body that. My mouth and my brain and my body. It's another story. Tell this body that. You know, I try my best, you know. You know, we all have our bad days and our good days, you know, but I try to stay positive, you know, to the best of my ability. You know, I try not to, and even if I'm having a bad day, I try not to project that on people. Yeah.
Ooh, another gem, especially for business owners. Like, you gotta have your mental health together, your emotional health together. You gotta know yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta know.
And it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, because when I'm having a bad day, I still gotta open my door.
Gotta open the door.
You know, and trust me, y'all, I have bad days too. Yes, I have bad days. I'm upset or whatever. I mean, it could be boiling up in here, but I have to do my best, you know, to pull it together. You know, and it's not a front. It's just, you know, you just got to get it together. You know, you have things you have to do.
That's right.
And your clients do have expectations of you. You know,
right.
They know you're human, but to be honest with you, it's not your client's responsibility to deal with your emotional swings and your emotional problems. You know, I mean, they can be empathetic, you know, because we all know sympathy and empathy is two different things, right? Okay, so if you didn't know, but, you know, and that's the thing. I come from customer service, too, just before we wrap up. Internal and external. Okay, so that's where a lot of this comes from. Because when you're dealing with clients, it doesn't matter. Customer service is customer service. The only thing that changes is the product or the source of the product.
That's right.
Customer service overall is everywhere.
That's right.
You know, and you have to learn how to deal with different types of people, and you have to learn how to control your emotions. That market is the most volatile market to deal with as far as, you know, a job or a source of employment. But it teaches you how to deal with people, okay? And you have to learn how to deal with yourself, because you cannot fly off the handle every time, you know, you get, you know, some adverse reaction from somebody. You know what I mean? We're human, don't get me wrong. But overall, you have to learn how to deal with that. You know, so that has helped me a lot, because that's all I know, to be honest with you. That's all I know. That has helped me in dealing with people. And yes, you do get irate customers, and yes, you do get, you know, customers that may be upset about something. And to be honest with you, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Right.
There are going to be some things that are going to happen, and you can't make the person happy. But the best thing is to set the tone and be honest and set the expectation. So I'm going to set the expectation for you. It may not be the end result that you like, but I have to set the expectation and the tone. I have to be honest with you. You know, I have to be honest with you. You know, I really do. You know, I really do.
Just dropping jewels on jewels, like that is so important. It's not just about this person is spending their money, leave my space, the end. Like you are dealing with people.
Yeah, you're dealing with people. And what's more emotional than your clothing?
Ooh, whoa.
You know, one thing, because I mean, it's an emotional thing. It is, you know, because sometimes, you know, some people come in here, they may have lost weight, and they're trying to transition into wearing clothes that are smaller, but they're not comfortable. Or we may have gained weight, and it may have been vice versa. Or we don't know how to style. We see people, we want to be this way, but we don't know how to do it. Or we don't know how to match different colors together. Those are conjugal skills that some people don't have. It's a reality, and they need a me, meaning Alanya, to help them through that. So shopping and, you know, styling and things that I do in here becomes therapeutic to some extent, because they really want to wear something, but they don't know how or where or comfortable even buying something that's secondhand. Because, you know, when I was a kid, that was a thing. You know, I never cared myself personally, because I've been shopping like this when I was a kid, but that was a stigma. Hand-me-downs, somebody else's clothes, whatever, you know, whatever stigma came along with it. But now it's a booming business. But although it's a booming business, it's still a niche business. It's not for everybody. It's really not. It's really not for everybody. But those who it's for, it's for. Yeah.
So Save a Rave is, Alanya said it, a therapeutic experience.
It can
Experience. You in here on helping people on their healing journey. And you know, that's what we all about. You know, this is all for, you know, the Brown Self-Care Collective. And, you know, I know some people might be like, oh, it's clothes, it's, you know. But I don't know if you saw, like, I created a category for you. It's called Conscious Clothing.
Yes, I did. Yes. Because
I was thinking, I said, I can't just put clothes, like, that doesn't, like, encompass what you do. It's conscious. It's intentional. Like, you have, like I said, you're sharing and exchanging energy with people. Like,
because everything in here is picked by me, whether I wear it or not. So that is, I mean, it is a labor of love. This is work, y'all. I'll tell you something. This is work. You know, consignment stores and, consignment stores specifically, because thrift stores tend to be bigger and nonprofit, but consignment stores are independent. Thrift stores is based on the vibe and the demographic of the owner or the management. So, you know, they base their findings and their selections based on the demographic and also the owner's vibe. That's the beauty. There's no consignment shop or thrift shop that's the same, not one.
Wow, so we're entering literally into your world when we come in here.
Absolutely.
This is like you curate.
Yeah, this is
all of this.
Everything in here is curated by me.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
And see, and that's the thing. It's not about me. It's curated by me, but it's not about me. You know, it's not about me, because you may not like the way I dress. We're not gonna have a whole, you know, store of what Alanya is actually wearing. I just try to base it on, you know, the feel of my customers, the environment, you know, current trends, you know, things like that.
Excellent. Wow. Alanya, thank you so much. Before we go, tell people where they can find you at, like where's your storefront.
Google me, baby.
Google her.
You can Google me, but you can find me at Save and Rave Consignment. That's 615 Bloomfield Avenue, Bloomfield, New Jersey, right here in Bloomfield Center. The cross street is Ward. We're directly or diagonally across from 7-Eleven next to the Indian Buffet. Our hours are Thursday through Sunday. Thursdays 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday 12 to 7, and Sundays 12 to 5. We're very, very active on social media. Come in, pull up, SART crew. It is what it is.
Holla. And I'm getting one of those hats. I'm just like,
yeah, when they drop.
I'm a hack. Oh, when they drop yet?
No, this has been out for a while. This is a sample. This is mine, but I need to let them drop because they've been asking.
Okay, is there a waiting list? Like,
no, there's not a waiting list, but they coming. You know what it was? To be honest with you, I couldn't find. You know, it's not just putting out any kind of hat. This one that I had, this was the sample. Obviously, you know, I tested it wearing myself. I liked this one, and then they didn't have this one, and I hadn't found one that I liked again. But I'm on it.
You on it? Okay.
Yes,
Because
I'm on
I need to be walking around with the I Am Black luxury.
Because
like,
we are.
Yes, we are. We are. I love everything that you have is, like you said, it's an energy, but like your like branding is affirmations. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So
Thank you.
keep making them, and I'm gonna be looking for that hat. But
You'll be looking for
you know,
that.
you can send me a little message and let me know.
I'll let
so
you
I
know.
can-
Okay. I'll let you know.
All right, Alanya, thank you so much. And y'all can also find Alanya on the Brown Self Care Collective site. You click on her picture, click on the link. It's going to bring you to her site, her Instagram, and all that. So bring your behind down here. You have no excuse. Okay.
All right, thank you, Danielle.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much,
Are you
girl.